All right, we're going to talk about nutrition. So, in terms of nutrition, I just wanted to really sort of focus on the absolute basics and the sort of the crux of what you need to know to kind of accelerate with your fitness journey right from the get-go. Because I don't want anyone to waste any time. I want everyone to make the most out of every day they have, every workout they have, every meal they have, in a way that is going to accelerate their results and whatever your goals are to accelerate you getting to those goals as quickly as possible. Um, so what is the importance, first of all, of nailing your nutrition? Because you've probably seen it, guys. You've probably seen in magazines and articles and all the rest of it, famous bodybuilders, there's really famous ones out there who have got an amazing physique and ripped abs, all the rest of it. They win bodybuilding competitions, but they also boast that they have eaten a cheeseburger every single day in the lead up to that competition, or they eat what they want. And then you'll see a bodybuilder on the other hand who's also winning lots of competitions, and he has got the cleanest diet ever, and he's eating nothing but blooming chicken and broccoli for months on end, which is miserable. But then on the other hand, this other bodybuilder who's eating cheeseburgers every day, he's actually quite miserable as well, because if you're going from if you're too extreme and all of your calories or a lot of your calories are coming from really unhealthy things, you're going to have really low energy levels. Your hormone regulations are going to be a little bit mixed up and all over the place. And then obviously the really extreme on the other side of the other really healthy bodybuilder, well, he's going to be miserable for different reasons, mainly because he's going to really not enjoy his diet at all, and every day is going to feel like an absolute chore. So it's important that we get the balance right so that we can not only enjoy our diets, guys, and actually have them to be sustainable, and view our diets as not just a 1 month or 2 month quick fix, but as a thing that we should be nailing for the rest of our lives. So how can we find a diet that we actually not only enjoy, but give us the results that we want for the rest of our lives? That is what it's all about. To me, that's what it's all about. And it is the healthiest and, in my honest opinion, most effective way of going about things. So, calories in, these calories out. This is kind of, to simplify it all, you'll hear this phrase a lot. Calories in, obviously, what you're eating, and then calories out is how you're burning those calories off through the exercise you're doing, through bodily functions, even through sleeping, things like that. So to make it really, really simple, if you're eating enough calories and you're working out and you're burning them off, more so you're burning more than you're eating, then obviously, as long as you're in a calorie deficit, that is what a calorie deficit is, you will lose weight. And it doesn't matter if those calories come from cheeseburgers or if they come from chicken and broccoli in terms of losing weight. However, it does matter the quality of your food if you want to make sure you are holding on to as much muscle as possible whilst losing as much fat. Or if your goal is to build, if your goal is nothing to do with weight loss or fat loss, but it's to do with body recomposition and you want to build a stronger body, again, the quality of your food sources are super, super important. So although, yes, calories in, these calories out, it's basic maths, If you're burning more than you're eating, no matter what you're putting into your body, you will lose weight, but it still matters so much what you put into your body. Okay, so the importance of nutrition also obviously is for weight loss, if that is one of your goals. For some people, it's not. For some people, it is. It's totally fine, just whatever phase of the journey you're at. But of course, we can manipulate our nutrition to really accelerate any of our weight loss goals through the calories in, these calories out method. And you can do that not just through lowering your calories, but through, for example, if you already are eating really low calories, guys, I don't want you to eat less calories. This is a trap that lots of people fall into. They think, I just need to eat less for weight loss. I just need to keep eating less and less and less. And you get to a point where you're just starving yourself of such basic vital nutrients that your body needs and energy and happiness that you're digging yourself a hole because your body gets used to a very low amount of calories, and then you've got nowhere else to go. You've got no more calories to take off, but your weight's not going. So it's all about how do you build up a really strong, healthy metabolism? And often the answer actually is not to cut your calories if you're already on low calories. It's actually to start slowly adding the calories back up again. And the emphasis, instead of cutting calories, it's to be on, right, how do we get more out of your body? How do we burn more calories? And so often the answer is actually put more energy into your body. And that way you can actually work out with more intensity, with more intention, build more muscle, and then you're going to start to lose weight, but you'll be eating more. So there's lots of different ways of looking at weight loss, and it's not always about cutting your calories. It could be actually about adding an extra 2,000 steps a day onto your activity, something as simple as that. And then, of course, building muscle. We'll get into that a little bit more. And for body recomposition, to grow your abs, to grow your biceps, grow definition all over your body, you need protein. Then you need the energy for the workouts. You need that energy to power you through each workout. If you're someone that's not just wanting to work on your physique, but also looking to increase your fitness, you can't do that unless you feel energized. So you need good nutrition for that. And then NEAT. I don't know if anyone's heard of NEAT. It means non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So a really good sign, ask yourself this, guys, now. Are you someone that fidgets all day long? Are you someone that's quite restless? Are you always tapping your hands? Are you always tapping your feet? Can you not sit still for very long? Do you always, when you wake up in the morning, do you bound out of bed, or does it take you ages to wake up? Do you feel really tired for the day? All of these things are really good clues, and it will tell you if you've got enough energy in your body. Sometimes it could be a lack of exercise, because a lack of exercise itself gives you energy. But often, if you feel really tired and you're not, even if you're sitting around all day, but you don't even have the energy to fidget naturally, then you might not be eating enough calories. And actually, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so just moving about and fidgeting, that burns more calories than intentional exercise. So this is why I'm always telling you guys, get your steps in, move, just fidget. It doesn't need to be crazy. You don't need to be hammering yourself with hours of cardio every day, nothing like it. You could just focus on not doing any cardio at all, but simply getting loads of steps in every day and just fidgeting, just tapping your heel if you've got a sedentary job, or standing up and working on a heightened desk and put your laptop on that and just rocking from one foot to the other, moving your body. It burns so many calories. So that's another way that you can actually, instead of being on a really restrictive diet, which I would never recommend to anyone, simply up your movement throughout the day. Okay, so you're going to learn basically everything I said there. Plus, you're also going to get out of this today is what a balanced meal looks like to support your goals. You're also going to find out what macros and micronutrients are. You're going to find out about the importance of protein, carbs, and fats. And we'll just briefly touch on supplements. So again, this is just like a 101 mastermind on nutrition. But I really think this is exactly what most people need to seriously just get off to a flying start with their fitness and their physique goals. Okay. So I'm going to ask you all this question now, so I hope you've all been listening. Okay, what does a balanced meal look like to you? So type it in the group chat, guys. Either on the left-hand side, so you've got the tomato pasta, or you have got the pasta with the peas, the broccoli, tomatoes, blah, blah, blah. Be honest, okay? The tomato pasta represents number one, right? Number in the group chat if the tomato pasta represents the meal that you would usually have. Or right number two, if it's the peas and broccoli pasta that you would usually have. Which one would be your go-to usually? If you were making a pasta dish, what would your pasta dish look like more? Would it be number one, the tomato dish? Would it be two, the peas and broccoli dish? Just message in the group chat, guys. What would yours be? No, we're all being shy. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what mine is. Oh, there we go. Vic says normally two. Okay, that's good. That's really good. The thing is, I see a lot of people, super basic mistake, okay, is they are simply getting the ratios wrong with any meals they do. You don't need to be cutting out carbs. You don't need to be never eating pasta, but you just need to be clever about it. So, everyone eats pasta, right? All I would suggest is with a meal like pasta, for example, just putting way more veggies in compared to the pasta side of things. Way more veggies, not only veggies, but protein too. And getting that balance right. So, and if you are looking at this and thinking your meals are always really quite carby, maybe eat a lot of baked potatoes, a lot of pasta, none of that is bad. But you need to make sure you also have an equal ratio of vegetables and protein in it as well. Super eat, and it will fill you up more as a result. But just super simple, clever little swaps is what you need to be thinking about on a daily basis with every single one of your meals. Okay, so what about here? So on the left-hand side, number one, you've got the yogurt bowl, okay? And now it looks really healthy, right? You've got a massive dollop of peanut butter in there. You've got banana, you've got granola. Now that yogurt is actually made with like loads of cream, or not loads of cream, but a bit of cream, and it's like full fat, natural Greek yogurt. Okay, that's that one. And then on the other side, you've got red berries, blueberries. You've got yogurt there as well. Now, it's really easy for when you're making a yogurt bowl to kind of go over the top a little bit. And you can make a yogurt bowl that is, for example, the red berries and blueberries with the low fat natural yogurt. That could maybe be about 300 calories. And then on the other side, you've got the massive dollop of peanut butter, the cream, the granola. Now that's probably going to be more like 700 calories easily. And they probably both taste just as delicious, and they're probably both just as filling as each other. So again, it's about making very simple, healthy choices. So even though they both look healthy, I'll tell you what is happening, where's going wrong in terms of the calorie difference here. So the one with the big dollop of peanut butter on it. Peanut butter, a lot of people see that as a healthy food. They think it's really high in protein, healthy fats. That's going to be great for me. It's seen in all the health magazines. But actually, healthy, anything that's got a lot of healthy fats in it or fats in general is going to be very calorific. Peanut butter is just that. It's extremely calorie dense. Now, that's not to say never eat calorie dense foods. Definitely incorporate calorie dense foods like healthy fats into your diet, but you need to be doing it. You need to be eating it in moderation. So maybe instead of a tablespoon of peanut butter, a teaspoon of peanut butter, instantly you're gonna take off literally hundreds of calories from that bowl, and then maybe swap out the bananas, and if you're someone that likes pineapple, mango, things like that. Swap out that sort of fruit because that is actually got a lot of sugar in it and it's quite easy to go over your sugar. If you're eating those sort of fruits, swap it out for something like red berries, like you see on the other sides. Red berries are really low in sugar. So super simple, easy swaps. And then think about what is the actual yogurt you're using? How calorific is that? So on the left, you've got a yogurt here that is full fat, nothing wrong with full fat yogurt, Greek yogurt, really creamy, really delicious, lovely. But on the other side, you have got low fat, natural yogurt. And that naturally is just going to have a lot less calories. And to be honest, it's going to taste more or less the same. So just have a little look whenever you're in shops, have a quick scan on the back of labels and just check the macros. Check just compare things. If you're not sure, just pick whatever's got maybe a lower amount of calories, okay, per 100 grams, as a sort of easy rule of thumb to get you going. Okay, so balanced meals. Just a quick sort of brief overview of how we can look then at creating balanced meals for ourselves. So from breakfast to lunch to dinner, what should they look like then if they can't just be bowls of pasta with tomato sauce or whatever it is? How do they look balanced? Okay, well, first of all, for breakfast, I've got a little tip for you all. So aim, if you can. I know this sounds maybe a little bit wild to some of you, might not be used to getting that much protein in on a daily basis. But here's a big challenge for you. Aim to get in 40 grams of protein for your breakfast. And here is why I think this is so important. Protein, it fills you up. It keeps you feeling satiated, keeps you feeling fuller for longer. And if you can try to get a high enough protein content in first thing in the day for your first meal, then you're way less likely to crave unhealthy things throughout the rest of the day. You're going to just be fuller for longer. And it means, because protein is such an important macronutrient for body recomposition, i.e. for weight loss and for muscle gain, if we make sure we have enough at breakfast, then that means we're very likely to hit our protein goal throughout the rest of the day. And it's not going to be one of these things where we forget about it and then, damn it, the end of the day comes, we haven't hit our protein goal. So try and get it in first thing as much as you can. And a few really easy ways to do this is egg whites. Now, I say egg whites over eggs because eggs, actually one egg only has 6 grams of protein in it. So you'd have to eat quite a lot of those eggs. And the yolk in eggs, very delicious, good for you, healthy fats in it, but it's quite calorific. So what I would suggest is to keep it a really low cal breakfast, buy yourself a big bottle of egg whites and put in 100 grams of egg whites and then pop in 1 egg and mix it around. So you still get the flavor and the fat from that 1 egg, but you're not putting in loads of egg yolks into that omelette. So you keep it really low cal, high protein. Another way to make your breakfast high protein and low cal is with high protein yogurt. So again, low fat, high protein, natural yogurt, and then popping in what we discussed. So red berries or blueberries, they are lower in calories, really, really good for you. And a little teaspoon of peanut butter, and that is a perfect breakfast. And you could even put some protein powder in it for a little top up of protein as well. Then you've also got protein overnight oats. So again, pop some protein powder in that, pop some high protein yogurt in that, maybe some chia seeds there, high in protein as well. And you can easily hit your protein goal that way too. Make sure, as a little tip as well, or at least aim to in the future, to try and also get in a little bit of fiber into your breakfast as well. And now I would actually recommend, if you can, and I don't want to get too technical here, but this is going to sound weird. I'm going to share you what I do, guys, okay? Every morning or whenever I have it in the fridge, which is pretty much every morning, I grab a massive handful of spinach and I just eat it. Before I eat anything else, I force myself, I don't particularly like eating spinach by itself, who does? But I force myself to eat a massive handful of it before I then eat my breakfast, which is going to be really high in protein, because it laces my stomach with fiber. And again, it breaks my fast with something that is super nutrient dense and full of fiber. So my body loves that because it's really important, whatever you put first thing into your body to break your fast, for that to be a really healthy nutrient dense thing, because your body is going to absorb it like wildfire. It's going to absorb it really fast and it's going to put that energy to good use. So you're going to feel so much better throughout the day. Your energy levels are going to be better if you eat something really nutrient dense like leafy greens. Or vegetables, green vegetables. And the key here is that leafy greens, green vegetables, things like that are really rich in fiber, and that laces your stomach. And it means anything from that point onwards for your breakfast, that breakfast that you eat, and maybe snacks post breakfast as well that you eat, the fiber is then laced your stomach already so that you can not only draw in the nutrients much more effectively that you eat after the spinach, but also it helps to protect your stomach lining from any sugary stuff that you eat. And that means it stabilizes your blood like glucose levels. And it means you don't get, in other words, a severe sugar cravings. You will not crave sugary foods as much if you lace your stomach with something really fibrous. So like those leafy greens first thing when you wake up. So that's what I do. That's just a little extra bonus tip for you. The main thing is focus on your protein for breakfast. Don't worry about anything else. If you think you still need to master even just the protein first, go for that. Then these things you can add on. Healthy fats keep you feeling really satiated throughout the day as well. It's also something that we actually neglect really easily. How many of us actually eat enough healthy fats in the day? You know, sometimes it can be something that we neglect, and it could be because we're a bit afraid of fats because we think, oh, fat will make us become fat, and it's not true. We need healthy fats. It's actually the only macronutrient that is essential. It is literally essential for our bodily functions. So sometimes I'll always just make sure, it might go the whole day and I'm suddenly like, oh my goodness, I haven't actually eaten any healthy fats at all today. So I always try and pop like a little teaspoon of peanut butter or something like that into my yogurt for breakfast, just to ensure that I actually do have some healthy fats. But obviously have them in moderation because, like I said before, they are calorific. Okay, so then lunch, aim for, again, a good hit of protein. 20 grams of protein, I know a lot of people think is a good amount of protein to have. I actually would say that is not a good amount of protein to have. I don't think that is enough protein. It's definitely not, maybe for a snack, to aim for 20 grams of protein, great, lovely. But for a main meal, 20 grams of protein, it just doesn't cut it. Because if you're aiming to have 20 grams of protein for your breakfast, and then for your lunch, and then for your dinner, that's only 60 grams of protein. And I would want every single one of you guys are listening to this, and anyone else, you need to be having a minimum of probably around a minimum of 100 grams of protein a day to meet your goals, whether that be fat loss or muscle gain. So try and aim for at least 30 grams for your lunch. And, I always have in the fridge things like sliced tuna, not sliced tuna, tinned tuna, sliced beef, so already pre-cooked beef, sliced chicken and turkey, all of these things, because then they're readily accessible. I don't need to think about cooking that. I'm not going to have any excuses in the morning for picking up my lunch to go to work with. It is readily accessible and I can just have it there and then whenever I want it as a little snack or for lunch. And then, you could just have sandwiches every day. We don't need to make it complicated, guys. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We could be having sandwiches every day. But again, this is where I'm going to hark on about it. It's simply about getting the ratio right. Okay, because how many of us again are brainwashed into, or we've all been grown up with it, haven't we? We get given sandwiches, don't we, for packed lunches, and then all the rest of it. You see it in cafes, sandwiches, and the bread's like super thick, isn't it? And then the filling is like one slither of ham, and then one leaf or something. Now that, I'm afraid, guys, isn't a balanced meal. What you're doing is you're just eating a lot of really super processed bread, because most bread is just super processed and lacks nutrients. Now, there's nothing wrong with having bread. I love bread. I eat it on a daily basis, but that is going to give you no nutrients. And all that is going to happen is, if you're wondering, God, I had 2 or 3 sandwiches for lunch and I'm starving. And then you crave, if you're someone that struggles with snacking throughout the day, you're craving sugary foods, it's those sandwiches. That is why. Because the carbs, there's no nutrient in it. So you're not being satiated. So your body is going to keep on craving until it finds something better to satisfy it. It's going to keep craving things. And it's not a balanced meal. So you're not getting your protein from that sandwich. And you're definitely not getting any nutrients from it. So have that sandwich, but this time, make sure you are getting enough protein into it. So instead of one sliver of beef, go for 4 or 5, go for a whole flipping pack of beef. That's what I usually have to do. I usually have to buy a whole pack of sliced beef and I will put it in between 1 or 2 sandwiches. And then not one leaf, because a salad leaf is got no nutrients in it really. It's just made up of water. So go for something a bit more fibrous, maybe a big handful of spinach, and maybe you want to cut up some veg and put that in it, or as a side. Get creative, but it should be a big chunky layer of salad and fibrous leafy greens within that as well, within that sandwich. And simple things again, like sub out your full fat butter for low fat butter. How easy a sub is that? And you would have no idea how many calories are in full fat butter. All you need to do is buy the low fat and you will be axing so many calories just for that one simple swap. Okay, now we're on to dinner. So get creative again, guys. So I feel like when it comes to dinner, this is when we actually crave things the most. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to crave sugary sweet treats, and your willpower becomes a lot less by the time the evening comes. And that is because you are tired. You don't have as much self-control, and you start making errors. So you guys might have been tracking flawlessly, and then all of a sudden it gets to 6 or 7 p.m. at night and you think, oh, F it. You go into F it mode and you start reaching for the chocolates, and one chocolate leads to another and another and another. So there's ways we can get around this, and that is, first of all, to make sure you're having a dinner that represents something that is a treat. But again, we're just going to sort of trick ourselves a little bit into thinking it's unhealthier than it is. So I am a big fan of fakeaways. So with fakeaways, for example, if any of you have an air fryer, that's a great one. If not, just use the grill. And you can chop up a sweet potato, make sweet potato fries just with some low-cal spray oil, and then make it a loaded fries. So remember, guys, you can't just have those potatoes. You have to have an equal portion of protein and some green veggies or something like that as well on top. So you might want to have the sweet potato fries with some chicken or maybe tuna with low-fat mayo, and then shove some green beans in there or peas or whatever it is to get that fiber, to get those nutrients in as well. And then, maybe some low-fat cheese, bougie it up a little bit, and then there you go. You feel like you're having a real treat, but it's really healthy and probably really low-cal, something like that. Another favorite I like is my pizzas. So I will always do like really healthy homemade pizzas. Pita bread, wholemeal pita bread, and then low-fat mozzarella on the top and some passata in the grill. That is probably going to be about 150, 200 calories. Compare that, you could have 2 or 3 of those for actually probably only about 400 calories, if that. And compare that to, a pizza you'd get from Domino's or the supermarket. It's going to be so many more calories, at least twice as many calories. And then low-fat mozzarella is actually quite high in protein as well. But then obviously, always, again, remember, guys, pop the protein on top of that. Whatever protein you like, maybe shred up some cooked ham, pop it on top. Healthy carbonara, that's my last suggestion for you guys. Something that I always do. Now, one way I do this is I'll either just use whole wheat pasta instead of plain white pasta. Whole wheat pasta, it's got a little bit more fiber in it. It's going to keep you feeling fuller, satiated for longer. And I will use lentil pasta. You can buy that from Aldi. It's a bit more nutrient. It's got some more nutrients in it, and it's lower in carbs and quite high in protein as well. So red lentil pasta from Aldi. It's amazing, guys. Get it. And then I will cook that with a fakeaway cheese sauce. So I'll just use low-fat natural yogurt and low-fat cheese. So write these things down, guys. Low-fat natural yogurt, low-fat high-protein natural yogurt, low-fat cheese. You can get these from Aldi, Lidl, super cheap. Egg whites you can get from Aldi. Low-fat mozzarella you can get from Lidl, super cheap. And then, so that's my healthy carbonara. It's yogurt and cheese, maybe some low-fat cottage cheese I'll put in that as well, maybe a little bit of sprinkle Parmesan, some lemon juice, and I might use whole wheat pasta or red lentil pasta. Super just simple, easy swaps, literally cutting calories in half from your usual standard meals. Okay, so we're nearly there, guys. What are macros? So I know I kind of talked about it briefly there, but just to reiterate, macros are nutrients that we need for the body to function. So don't be scared of eating, guys. We need it. We need this to actually accelerate our physique goals. We just need to be eating the right things. So macros, we break them down into what I've just been talking about: proteins, carbs, and fats. Protein. So why, I know I keep telling you guys, eat loads of protein, eat loads of protein. The reason why is you can be working out day on day, right? Time and time again, week on week, working out, lifting weights, thinking you're building muscle, trying to change your physique. But if you're not eating enough protein, then you are really limiting the results you're going to get from your workouts. So you're basically going to be, you're not going to be wasting your time, but you could have much better results if you ate protein or enough of it if you aren't already. So that is the main reasons. Protein, you need to be just taking your macro goals I've assigned to you on as a coach on your app. You need to be taking them seriously. This is going to help not only with building your muscles, okay, but body recomposition. So what do I mean by body recomposition? Well, the more muscle mass that you have on your body, the more your metabolism is going to increase, because your body is going to be burning more calories just to try and support the amount of muscle that is now growing on you and to maintain the muscle that you have, that lean muscle. So actually, you burn more calories the more muscle you have. Like, it's amazing. And not only that, but the macro protein, if you compare it to carbs or fat, with protein, you're actually going to burn 30%, up to 30% of the protein that you eat, lean protein like chicken, beef, whatever it is, egg white. 30% of the calories that you've just eaten, your body burns straight away just from trying to process and digest that protein. Now, if you compare that to fats and carbs, it's up to 30 times as much. With fat, sometimes it's only 1% of the calories that you ingest from fat actually is burned trying to digest it. Carbs, it's a little bit more like 10%, but protein, 30%. But that is not to say, guys, to shy away from your carbs, because with carbs, it's our greatest energy source that we pull from for working out when it comes to weightlifting and cardio sessions as well. So we need carbs to feel energized and to get enough out of our workouts. If we walk into a workout and we feel quite flat, we don't have that much energy, we feel quite hungry, we feel a bit weak, we are not going to be pushing ourselves hard enough. And you need to be pushing yourself really quite hard, whether you're lifting weights or doing an interval session, for example, in order to improve your top end fitness and to build muscle, because you cannot build muscle by simply just not breaking a sweat. And your muscles need a reason to grow. They need to be stressed and they need to be really fatigued. So you need to push them almost to a point of failure for them to grow. This will get easier and easier, guys. Like the actual working outside of things, don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds, pushing almost to failure. And it gets easier and easier every time you do it. But having enough carbs is going to help you with this, but eating the right carbs. So just make sure we're not eating overly processed carbs. Make sure we're looking at, of course, you can eat your breads and your pastas and your pizzas. It's absolutely fine. But have it in moderation and make sure you're throwing in loads of vegetables. And as a general rule of thumb, the more colorful whole foods that you eat, the better. Okay. And then healthy fats. I know I've touched on this already, but it is the only macronutrient that is actually essential in terms of our hormone health and regulation, our bodily functions. We, especially actually as women, for hormone regulation. You might notice, you probably would notice if you didn't have any healthy fats for an extended period of time, your mood would plummet. You would not be that as happy. You would be really fatigued all the time. You start to get aches and pains in places you didn't want it. Healthy fats is not only going to help with all of that, but it also actually, there's so many studies to show that you will perform better in the gym, through exercise, all the rest of it. You will get way more results out of the gym and cardio activities from just having enough healthy fats. Now, that doesn't mean to say start eating loads and loads. It could just mean, making sure you have your oily fish once to twice a week, and making sure you always have a teaspoon of peanut butter every single day, because of course we don't need a huge amount of healthy fats, but we do need an amount. Because they are calorific, so just be careful, guys. And the one last thing I'm going to say about healthy fats is this myth about olive oil that, oh, olive oil is so healthy, all the Mediterraneans eat it, so it must be good for you. Let's drizzle it over everything and everything. Just be really careful, guys, because I'm not saying olive oil is bad for you. It's definitely not, and there is a lot of health benefits to olive oil. But there is the bad, the cons of olive oil, if you overeat it, are going to far outweigh the benefits. So really, olive oil is so calorific. You only need a few drops of it, guys. Literally a few drops of it today. So just buy spray oils instead, and then eat a couple of olives instead, okay? Do not start making salads. This is where you get tricked out, because you think when you go to a salad, for example, it's sort of a restaurant, or you're making a salad at home, you think it's super healthy, but then you drizzle loads of oil all over it. Well, that is this, you may as well, because at the end of the day, a potato is healthy, isn't it? Until you drizzle a load of oil over it and deep fry it. Then that becomes one of the most unhealthy things you can eat if you eat enough of that. So just be careful, guys. You can turn a salad from being next to no calories into extremely huge amount of calories just by drizzling olive oil all over it. So again, it's just about being careful. Okay, very last slide, guys. This has been so much information, so thank you for bearing with. Supplements. Now, 2 supplements I would recommend. I'll very quickly go over this. Protein powder. This is, for example, if you're a vegetarian in particular or a vegan, it is, I'm not going to lie, it is going to be a lot harder to get enough protein in on a daily basis. So I would say you might need to lean up on protein powder a little bit more than other people. And you can pop this into yogurt, smoothies, all the rest of it. Super great supplement to always just have handy if you need to top up your protein. Then you have got creatine. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what creatine is that's creatine monohydrate. You can get it from loads of different stores. It's relatively cheap. And you simply take 5 grams of it every day, so hardly anything. I just put it into my morning coffee every day. You can put it into yogurt, again, smoothies, whatever you want. And the studies show overwhelming evidence with the fact that creatine gives simply the most amazing benefits in terms of helping you to grow muscle and recover from workouts a lot faster than if you weren't to take it. So there is a meaningful difference if you take creatine compared to if you do not take creatine. It's the only supplement I would say to bother putting any money towards. All the other supplements, I don't think, I think influencers shout about them probably because they get sponsored by them. And they're really, as long as you have a healthy diet, you just don't need them. But creatine monohydrate is definitely going to help you. Protein powder, especially if you're a vegetarian or vegan, going to help you. And then the main takeaways, guys, to summarize, okay, is you don't need to eat less. You can actually eat more in volume. You just need to be clever about what you're putting into your body. You do not need to always think the answer is to eat less. Often it is the opposite. You need to be eating foods that are more voluminous and more nutrient dense, that are going to fill you up for longer and really properly fuel you. And they will also actually probably be the much lower calorie alternatives, even when you're eating huge amounts of them. We need calories to function and hit our goals. That is the second takeaway. Just remember, guys, calories is not your enemy, it is your friend. And if we can put them to good use, even if you have had a takeaway the night before and you feel really guilty, which you should never feel guilty about, because that is, not a good mental habit to get yourself into. Instead of feeling guilty, wake up the next day and think, you know what? At the end of the day, they are just calories and I'm going to put them to good use now by running. I'm going to do my first 5K PB, or I'm going to do my best weightlifting session yet and I'm going to hit a PB on deadlift. You can put those calories to good use. Use them to fuel you. Don't think that because they came from chips, you're going to feel rubbish physically the next day. You actually won't. You're just going to have more energy than usual because you've had a bit more calories. So just put it to good use and then you're going to feel amazing and it's going to help you contribute towards your results. And then just get on the bandwagon as soon as you can by eating healthy again or balanced, because you can treat yourself and you can treat yourself on a daily basis, guys. But again, just in moderation. Then third takeaway, you must take your macro goals seriously. Okay. So if you, I've assigned as my clients, you have got your own macro goals. Take them seriously. Really start to look at what you're eating. Even if you don't want to track your food via apps like MyFitnessPal, try to eat as intuitively as you can. Look at the back of the packs. Tell yourself, if you've got a meal deal, does that actually have enough protein in it? Probably not. Meal deals are crap. They usually only have about 10 to 15 grams, if you're lucky, of protein in that whole pack. Then think back, actually, no, I should be getting about 30 grams at least out of a main meal for protein. So think about, get creative. How can you top it up? Maybe you're going to buy a packet of low-fat cottage cheese and you're going to pop that into your meal deal, whatever it is, your salad. I mean, I would say avoid meal deals altogether wherever you can and always meal prep. And then the last takeaway, creatine and protein powder is all you may need. You do not need to be chucking your money at fancy diet pills, which will definitely not work, or any other form of supplements, as long as you have a healthy, balanced diet. Creatine, definitely. Protein powder, maybe, if you feel like you struggle to get your protein in. Okay, so very last slide, guys. Your homework, sort of action everything you've learned, is just remember, guys, you need to prepare to fail or fail to prepare. Was that the right way around? If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. That's the right way around. So just remember that, guys. Preparation is so key. So how can we do that? Well, plan your meals and meal prep. Take everything I've said on board and simply think about making balanced meals ahead of time. Just batch cooking, pop them all in the freezer, meal prep, okay? Try and meal prep. That is going to be the game changer for you. And as long as you have in that meal a good portion of lean protein compared to carbs, compared to healthy fats and some veggies in there as well, you're winning. You're absolutely winning. And then the last thing that I want you to try and do, try and hit that 40 grams of protein for breakfast, because that is going to set you up so well for the rest of the day. Okay, so that is everything, guys. I don't even know who's still with me. I don't think any people. Oh, it's just me and you, Vic. So
yeah, just you again.
Yeah, go for it.
No, that's been great. I'm actually in the process of packing to go away with work again because I'm always away.
Oh,
But I've actually meal prep to take with me this time. At least my lunches anyway. So that's as much as I can get done. But it's a small step in the
yeah,
right direction.
exactly. It's just small steps because it's like, I know, like, I'm always like, do this and then do that and then do that. But actually, you're winning if you can implement even just one of those things and just stack it week on week upon
Yeah.
all the healthy habits you've got, and then you're winning. That's really what it's all. Amazing. Okay. Do you have any questions at all?
No, I'm good. I'm just gonna try and get the 40 grams of protein for breakfast. I try and do the spinach thing already. Like I don't know if you've been seeing on mine, but I'm always trying to punch in spinach first thing in the morning because it definitely keeps me from craving. Like that's what like 11's little coffee and a cake moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps so much, like, because that was what I struggled with as well for a long time. It was those cravings. It was the 11Cs and it was the late night cravings. And I realized that if I can predict the times that I crave the things most, like if I just literally ram some veggies down me like an hour before I know that time is going to be upon me, it literally can curb those cravings so much. It's helped me
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, I used to be a major snacker. Um, all right, sweet. That is all we
Cool.
have time for then. Yeah, enjoy your work, Vic, and thank you for sticking around.
That's cool.